ex-husband demanded a paternity test for peace of mind, so I asked to see his phone for peace of mind. He brought it up 2 weeks after I gave birth. I was still recovering. Hadn't slept more than 3 hours straight in days. The baby was finally down for a nap, and I was sitting on the couch in yesterday's clothes eating crackers because that was all I had the energy to make. And he sits down next to me, all calm, hands folded in his lap like he'd rehearsed this, and says he just needs to be sure. I didn't cry. I didn't yell. I just stared at him. We'd been together 6 years, married for 3. I had never once, not once, given him a reason to question me. No late nights he couldn't account for. No weird behavior. No distance. I was an open book with this man. He knew my passwords, my friends, my family drama, everything. I gave him all of me and never thought twice about it. But I agreed because I had nothing to hide and I wanted this conversation to be over. I scheduled the test, took our daughter in, got the results back within the week, handed them to him without a single word. Obviously his. A perfect match. Of course she was. I almost laughed when I saw the paperwork because it felt so absurd holding documented proof of something I already knew to be true. He looked relieved when he read it. That relief made me sick to my stomach. I sat with that feeling for a few days. Couldn't name it at first. It wasn't just hurt. It was something closer to embarrassment. Like I'd been accused of something in my own home by the one person who was supposed to know me better than anyone. And he got to walk away feeling better while I was still carrying the weight of having been suspected in the first place. So about 4 days later, I sat down next to him the same way he'd sat next to me. Calm. Hands in my lap. And I said, okay, now I need you to hand me your phone. Same reason he gave me. Peace of mind. Nothing serious. He laughed. Actually laughed. Like I'd said something absurd. I didn't smile back. He said I was being ridiculous. I said I didn't think I was. He said it wasn't the same thing. I asked him why it wasn't the same thing. He didn't have an answer for that. Just kind of shook his head and walked out of the room. I let it go that night. But I brought it up again 3 days later. Same ask. Same tone. Can I see your phone? Peace of mind. He said the battery was dead. I offered him my charger. He said he'd left it at work. I said okay and walked away. The week after that, I asked again. He got irritated that time. Said I was making something out of nothing. Said I was punishing him for asking a reasonable question. I reminded him that I took the test. I did what he asked without making him feel like a criminal. All I was asking for was the same courtesy. He told me I was being dramatic and went to bed. I started paying attention after that. Not in a paranoid way at first, just noticing things. He started taking his phone to the bathroom every single time. Started sleeping with it face down on the nightstand. Started stepping outside to take calls he used to take right in front of me. Little things. Things that by themselves mean nothing but together start to build a picture you don't want to look at. Then, one Tuesday evening, he ran out to grab groceries. Quick trip, 20 minutes max. He left his phone on the counter plugged in. I stood in the kitchen and looked at it for probably 2 full minutes before I picked it up. I told myself I wouldn't look. I told myself I was being paranoid. I told myself this man loved me and I was going to feel ridiculous when I put it back down and went and sat on the couch like a normal person. I looked. 4 different women. Not flirting. Not one questionable message I could have talked myself out of. Conversations. Full ongoing conversations with pictures and plans and the kind of language you only use with someone you've been with for a while. One thread went back 8 months. Another one started just 3 weeks before he ever sat down next to me on that couch and told me he needed a paternity test for peace of mind. He wasn't suspicious of me. He was guilty himself. He was sleeping with 4 other women, panicking about what that might mean. And instead of facing what he'd done, he pointed the finger at me. Made me sit in a clinic with our newborn daughter. Made me feel like a suspect in my own marriage. And then had the nerve to look relieved when the results came back. I put the phone back exactly where it was. When he came home, I helped him put the groceries away. I didn't say a word. I needed time to think, and I knew if I opened my mouth right then, nothing good was going to come out. Over the next few weeks, I got quiet in a way he definitely noticed but couldn't quite read. I was talking to a lawyer, getting my paperwork together, moving money into an account he didn't have access to, making a plan. When I was ready, I confronted him. He denied it at first. Then he saw that I'd already seen it and he pivoted to excuses. I didn't let him finish a single one. I filed for divorce shortly after, and those paternity test results he needed so badly for his peace of mind, I used them to establish paternity in court and locked in child support before the ink was dry on the divorce papers. He wanted proof he was her father. He got it. So did the judge.